All right, welcome back everybody, and welcome back to those of you who are watching online. I hope you've managed to invest your UC $5 note wisely. If you haven't, it's essentially a worthless souvenir. Well done. I think you'll agree that all of tonight's finalists have done an outstanding job. I've already commented, I think, just on how brave it is to stand up and sell an idea. Everyone's emotionally invested in their best ideas, and so putting yourself out there on stage takes great bravery. I've been incredibly impressed. It's one of those times when you work for an organisation and you just feel really deeply proud of the things that go on here. So thank you all for making me proud. These events really do require us to have a panel of judges of the very highest standards just to provide the credibility of a real... They're giggling amongst themselves. Do any of you have lies on your CV somewhere? And so I do want to thank the judges who do make this event work so well. So if I can ask each of the judges to come forward and accept a gift hamper courtesy of Gigi's Flowers, presented by Nip and Guyana Wedge Wakarama. So if I can invite first to the stage the Honourable Brendan Nelson AO, Director of the Australian War Memorial.
Thanks, Ross. Thank you, Ross.
Mick Spencer, entrepreneur, CEO and founder of On The Go Sports. Rachel Stephen-Smith, Labor MLA for Kurrajong and Minister in the ACT Government. Thank you.
Thank you. Get paid enough for this.
And Susie Hoytnick, registered nurse and founder of Clear Complexions Clinics. If there was a prize for the most questions asked, you would also win that. Thank you very much. So please, a round of applause for our sponsors, Gigi Flowers. I'm next going to award a set of prizes which are vouchers worth $440 each, which are for tonight's presenters to go through an online journal article writing course run by MD Writing. So I'm going to invite Melanie Devardis onto the stage to present each of the vouchers. First of all, Anthony Davidson. Anthony, for the record, that wolf whistle was ironic. Abel Zhao. Hayley Teasdale. Jenny Duxbury. And David Hinwood. The next prize is a $5,000 research support grant and bouquet of flowers for best pitch by a post-PhD presenter. And so that's going to be presented by Professor Francis Shannon And Nip and Guyana Wijikarama from Gigi's Flowers are going to present the bouquet of flowers. So please welcome those people to the stage. And I'm also going to invite back to the stage Brendan Nelson, who is going to comment on this award in just a moment when I announce it. So Brendan, please make your way back to the stage. So the $5,000 research support grant and bouquet of flowers goes to Philip Roberts. And I'll ask the Honourable Brendan Nelson to offer some brief comments on the award.
Well, thank you very much, Ross. Firstly, it's a privilege to be here this evening with my fellow judges and to hear such inspiring and outstanding work and creative thought that's been put into the research projects here at the University of Canberra. It wasn't easy. There were a couple that I've got to be honest with you, Phil, there were a couple that we sort of put alongside you, where there were, in fact, there were three that we thought were pretty much equally meritorious. But we also took into account the fact that for $5,000, what could make potentially the greatest difference. And as I walked in here this evening, I saw the image of Tom Calma saying that if you want to immunise against poverty, invest in education. We are all here as a consequence of our families to varying degrees and the education that we have had. And as Thomas Jefferson said, until you learn to read, you'll never be free. The National Assessment Program for Literacy and Numeracy, yes, it has its controversies, but for many families who are educationally poor, it's pretty much the only indication that their parents will often have that there might be a problem. Something that Philip's proposed, which I certainly had not ever considered, is this construct of NAPLAN testing in non-urban communities. So for a relatively modest sum of money, it's a lot of money to you and me, Philip, but for a relatively modest sum of money, let's have a look at this and let's see if there is a more effective way and more accurate way of testing children who are living in rural communities. And if your hypothesis is correct, this will make a bloody big difference. So congratulations.
We have two other prizes, and one of the options that we give our judges is to go into partnership to invest more than their $1,500 in particular individuals who they felt really deserved that larger degree of investment. And so Mick and Susie have agreed to go into partnership and to fund for $3,000 Bernie Bissett. Did Mick or Susie want to say anything? If I'd done that correctly, I would have invited them up first. I kind of messed up. This is a bit awkward. Let's move on as quickly as possible. No hands to shake. Awkward, awkward. Go on, go on.
Well done.
Do either of you wish to say something?
We, not after Brendan, not really, no.
Get
No, I'm going. Congratulations, Bernie. We also, it was very difficult to decide who we wanted to give our money to because it's obviously very personal to us as well, who we thought could really use the money in the most, to get the most out of it. You had actually asked for $3,000, which isn't the reason that you got $3,000. But the reason that you did is that we were so impressed that you had identified a need in the ventilated population of patients that was not benefiting from what was currently there. And we're really, really confident that you can see the answer. And so we were very confident that this money would actually have a really positive, tangible outcome for the health system in general. So well done.
Now, I'm not going to make that mistake again. So I'm going to invite Rachel up to the stage because I think Brendan's said his piece. Rachel and Brendan have gone into partnership to award another $3,000. He said, speaking slowly so that Rachel can come to the stage. And that $3,000 goes to Wayne Spratford. Wayne couldn't be here this evening, but he said thank you for coming. Can you accept it on his behalf? Are you trustworthy? Okay, so a colleague to accept it on Wayne's behalf.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, so one of the criteria we chose, which Brendan also talked about, was where could our money really make a difference? And I think for me, looking at research that doesn't necessarily have a commercial outcome and isn't necessarily going to attract other investors who might be here this evening was a really important criteria. I did confess earlier that I had a slight interest in Wayne's particular research, but I think this was another example of where a small amount of money put in, building on research that had already been done, that had already shown a practical outcome, and then they're taking it to the next step. This small amount of money, Wayne asked for $6,000, we've got him halfway there, might actually make a significant difference that can then spread out across treatment populations, across a really broad community of women and men who experience this particular issue. So that was really our criteria for this. And I just want to say a huge congratulations to everybody who pitched this evening. It was a really, really, really hard decision, and it was really inspiring being here this evening. Another great example of the way University of Canberra is really blossoming as a research university, and it's a fantastic thing to see. So congratulations to everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, a few final comments from me. I particularly want to thank the UC Red team who put a lot of effort into these events. In the last few years, I think you've seen them go from strength to strength. We've seen the audiences get bigger. I'm excited to be part of both 3-Minute Thesis and Pitch for Funds next year. Can we give a big round of applause for the UC Red team? We've thanked our presenters. I also want to thank all the people who are behind presenters standing up on the stage. So there's lots of supportive family members, coaches, supervisors who have provided the support that helps people stand up here and do what is a very challenging task. So again, a big round of applause for all the supporters out there. Finally,
Ross?
Brendan.
Oh, the microphone works. Ross, one other point that we wanted to make, if I may, Eamon's project should be funded, must be funded, and it beggars belief that in a country that spends the money we do on healthcare, that we can't find the money to do that research project. The $5,000, had we given it to Eamon, it would have made some difference, but he still would have needed another $35,000. In my very strong opinion, the ACT government,
Hang on a minute, that wasn't what we said.
Oh, no. And the College of Emergency Medicine, the AMA and the ANF should all jointly fund that project, and let's this time next year know what the result is.
From UC's commercialisation and engagement group here today. I know they're listening to what you've just said, and we'll see what we can do about putting together a package to make sure that the research gets funded. And I'll look forward to passing back the good news to you next year at Fiction Funds. Thank you all for turning up. Thank you for those who watched online. It's been a great pleasure to be with you, and I look forward to seeing you next year.